good evening or morning, depends when you're watching Year 10. This is a quick video to give you a bit of a hand with your spring homework booklet. Now, hopefully you've done like 1.1. This is for 1.2. Okay, so the next one in the expectations that we expect you to do. Now, very similar to the previous one. Again, you have always got the grids, okay, and the grids are here in particular to help you revise both Romeo and Juliet and A Christmas Carol. So your 1.2 homework, remember, is that. But also remember that your teacher has set you this, but also the extended writing. Now, for this week's extended piece for Year 10, what you have to do is you have to write a story that starts with a sentence stop. Now, this is part of paper 1, question 5. Now, if you want to look at your organisers, go on Google Classroom, so you'll be able to find them on there. Is that paper 1, question 5, you'll be able to see, looks a bit like this. So you've got assessment objective 5, which is the idea that you have to write in paragraphs. You need to think about the way that you structure your piece. You need to be thinking about using similes, metaphors, personification, pathetic fallacy, but also think a tiny bit about the way that you structure it. The other thing that you also have to be thinking about when you're doing your pieces of creative writing is also you need to be thinking about punctuation. So both things are really, really important. Now, if you're struggling to think, well, how do I write a story? In your knowledge book, you have got an example of a really, really good one, paper 1, question 5, descriptive piece of writing. Now, for your homework, we're not asking you to write a full piece like this, but what we are asking you to write is to write about 200 words that actually use some of the techniques, use a range of sentence structures, and also that you are thinking about your punctuation. So we've only asked you for 200 words in total. Now, when it comes to this, like it says, write a story that starts with the sentence stop. The first thing that you want to be thinking about is actually, like, why would that person have to say stop in the first place? Now, I'm a great believer that you don't want to make your story like too complicated and travel through 5,000 different countries, meeting 5,000 different people. Keep it really simple. So I tend to talk about having one character, one event, one setting. Now, of course, things happen within that one character, one event, and one setting, but it doesn't matter as long as kind of you keep it quite simple in terms of your description. One of the things that, and I'm going to be honest, I got this from primary schools, like the way that you do really well in this question is this idea of showing, but not telling. Show, don't tell. And it's to do with the way that you are going to describe your ideas in loads of detail. Now, when I'm planning, now you can do a completely different story, a completely different idea. I always kind of tend to go for very similar ones. So my character is somebody that says stop. I'm going to actually stick to what I know, a teacher, okay? So my character is going to be a teacher. Now, when might a teacher say stop? Probably down the corridors, okay? So I'm going to write with that, so corridors. That's my setting, so my setting. And the event is a group of, what should I go? I'm going to go year 11. Year 11 lads, okay? And in particular, I've gone for year 11 lads because if I'm thinking of my teacher, I'm going to make my teacher about 5'4", okay? So she's not necessarily, I'm going to make a female as well. So she's quite short. It's not short, that is average, I think. But she's of a smaller height. And year 11 boys are literally like, and I'm already going to put it here, like towering trees. Or maybe I might think of something else, or like towering. Trying to think of something that is really large and scary, but that walks. Like, I don't want to, towering giants doesn't make sense. I'm going to put the word here, giants. Something towering or giants. Or maybe they could be like towering cyclops. But they do have 2 eyes. So I don't know, I'm starting to get my ideas ready. The corridor, the event. So the setting. Now, the corridor is going to be busy, crowded, crammed, feels a bit dangerous. So I'll start thinking about, actually, like, what that corridor feels like. So that's the way that it feels. I might start actually thinking about sounds. I might hear the shrieking, the laughter as well, actually. Not everybody is being utterly wild. There's laughter, whisperings. So I'm starting to gather kind of like what my setting's going to be like. And then I'm going to decide what these like group of year 11s are doing. Poor year 11s, they are actually really lovely. Now, because I want to create this idea of the teacher having to say stop, I might say that, what could they be doing? So they just actually like huddled together, okay, have got a large puffy jackets. Oh, I know what they've done. I know what they're doing. They're playing with a basketball. That's more my year 9s actually. So basketball, indoors, in the air, and they might break something, okay? So I'm actually going to be writing about a teacher telling a group of year 11s that are playing with a basketball indoors, and like kind of describing that setting. Now, it says here that you need to start the story with stop. So I'm going to start with stop because that's how I started. So stop. Now, when a teacher shouts stop, the corridors go dead silent, don't they? Everybody's watching. Now, I might decide to do that, or I might not decide to do that. So, because I've got quite a small teacher, I'm going to suggest that actually her stop does not even touch or is heard by anybody. Stop. So, I'm going to kind of think about her screams and her shouts. So, I'm going to introduce her. What am I going to call her? I'm going to call her Miss Crutchko. Okay, so no, Miss Smith. Let's call her Miss Smith. Miss Smith stood still like a statue. So still like a statue by her door. Her command, her demand, drowned by an ocean. Now look at this, her demand drowned. So the stop is being drowned by an ocean. So I'm using a bit of a semantic feel of the sea, and also, again, kind of suggesting that whatever she's shouting is not loud enough. So because I'm saying by an ocean, I'm going to describe a range of activities in the corridors that are really noisy. Drowned by an ocean of screams, laughs, and whisperings. Now, I might use something like, I'm thinking of somebody that could sound really loud, like a god or Zeus, and I might say something, I'm going to use a bit of an illusion. Not even Zeus's deep voice could quieten the rising noises. Something like that. No, I don't like that. Could quieten. Oh, I know what I'm going to put because I like this word. This cacophony. Now, cacophony is like the grey word actually. Means like loads of loud, confusing, and horrible sounds. Now, look, already what I'm doing here is I've used a range of techniques that make my writing engaging. I stopped Miss Smith. Miss Smith stood still by her door like a statue. So, because I said like a statue, I've used a simile. Her command drowned by an ocean of screams. Now, it's not an ocean of screams, so actually I've used a metaphor. Now, it says here personification, so I haven't done that yet. And then I've got this lovely bit of almost like an illusion by talking about Zeus, who is a god. Now, what do I'm going to... Oh, she spots them. So, she says stop. She's standing there. She's trying to get everybody to be quiet. And then I'm going to change focus. So, this is a new paragraph. And then she saw it. And I'm going to explain what she saw. And then she saw it. What color is the basketball? It's like orange, isn't it? An orange sphere bouncing and bobbing over the heads of the crowds. So, and then she saw it, an orange sphere bouncing and bobbing over the heads of the crowds. Now, I'm thinking about the sentence structures that I've used. Now, I've already got a range, but I'm going to try and use this minor sentence, this idea of one word, usually a noun. So I'm going to put here, chaos. Absolute chaos. Now, I've done a minor sentence there to emphasize actually how cross or angry I am. So, the kind of thing that you're trying to do here is actually create a story with stop, and I've done this idea of a teacher being very angry with a group of kids, and I've started to develop my writing. Now, when I move on to like the group of boys of year 11s, I need to start thinking about actually how I might describe them. Now, I might use, like it says here, use a one-sentence paragraph. Now, I kind of have done that already. You know, by putting stop on its own, I've done it. I've actually done it. I've done that already. So I might take that there and give myself a tick. And I've actually used also a complex sentence because, yeah, I've got it here. Her command, her demand, drowned by an ocean of screams, laughs. No, actually, no, that's not. Oh, I want a complex sentence. So a complex sentence, I need to start it with a subordinator. So whilst or because or something like that. So I want to introduce the boys. Let me see. So, and then she saw it, an orange sphere bouncing and bobbing over the heads of the crowds. Chaos, absolute chaos. Okay, I'm going to focus back to Mrs. Smith or Miss Smith as she's walking towards the boys. So, as Miss Smith parted the crowds like Noah did the Red Sea. So I'm using an illusion, guys. That's a famous story from the Bible. As Miss Smith parted the crowds like Noah. Was it Noah? No, Moses, not Noah. Noah's the one with the boat. Okay, the ark, sorry. Like Moses did the Red Sea. So as Miss Smith parted the crowds like Moses did the Red Sea, comma, a large group of towering giants rose from, now have I used, no, I've used crowds already, rose from the, let me see, from the never-ending crowds. I don't want to use, as Miss Smith parted the crowds like Moses did the Red Sea, a large group of towering giants rose from the never-ending sea of children. There you go. So I've got another bit of a metaphor. And now I've used a complex sentence. Now I'm going to leave it there because it's now been 15 minutes. What I wanted to show you is that actually when you're doing creative writing, it's not about vomiting on the page, okay? It takes time. You have to think about what you're writing. You have to think about your structure. You have to think about the way that your story is going to move. You want to make sure that you are meeting that success criteria of using a simile, of maybe using personification, of using a metaphor, of using minor sentences, so that you are engaging your writer. So I've given you a way that you can plan. I've given you the beginnings of my idea and the way that I'm developing my idea. And now it's about you trying your best and making sure that you are writing a piece. Do make sure though, one of the things that I do notice a lot when we do these exercises in the booklet in particular is that pupils forget to use paragraphs. Paragraphs are really, really important in ensuring that your story follows a pattern and that you are guiding your reader through it. I hope you find this helpful. Thank you, Year 10. Bye.